Hello, we're back. I guess this is going to be the update video. Haven't done one of those in a while. Or at least, I haven't released any of those in a while. I've filmed 3 and I haven't released any of them. I've been too busy. So this is my update for August, even though I'm filming it on the 1st and it'll come out sometime next week. I'm going to be really busy this month. Like, really busy. I have so many things on right now this month that I don't even know if I'll have time to do videos, which might be good because I kind of want a palate cleanser. I'm very exhausted from making videos and just I don't know what to do most of the time. Most of the ones I've had come out in the past couple of weeks have been flukes that I've had the idea for them, like the Crocodile Dundee one, most of the mail hauls and the what I watched, whatever, in the month. But yeah, I'm... Even the ones I've had great ideas for, like the going to Play Music DVD and doing a video about that, that one I came up with a couple days, like a week earlier than I filmed it, and I was like, when do I do it? I was expecting to do it in a month or so, and I did it that weekend, and it was great. But what do I have going on? The first week and a bit of August is exceptionally busy because I work in a warehouse during the day. It's my day job. We're moving to a different warehouse, and it's a really big move because it's everything. Obviously, it's not just we're expanding; it's literally we're taking everything and putting it over there into a much bigger warehouse, which means that I have to work a lot more hours, which means a lot more money for me. Great, wonderful, 10 out of 10. Really needed after my car being a piece of shit. Got to talk about that as well. Yeah, so I've literally, I'm getting extended hours, working an hour earlier, potentially working an hour or two later each day. I'm working on a whole weekend, which is very rare. That has never happened before. It occasionally happens with other colleagues if there's like a container and they really need to unload it, whatever. I know that they're doing that tomorrow. I'm filming on a Friday, the 1st of August. They're doing that on the Saturday. But yeah, so I'm going to be really busy with that. Then we got to get to the new warehouse, have it unloaded, be ready to actually get back into operations on the Monday. So we have 3 days to do everything. It's hell, and of course it's a cold middle of winter in Australia. It's a dusty warehouse. There's a lot of dust on everything. We found a dead rat. Wonderful. I don't even know if it was dead. It was just on a pallet, and it was just like, cool, alright, whatever. Big fucking thing. It was really funny, actually. It wasn't like we had a previous dead rat a couple months ago, which was definitely there for a while because there was a smell to it. But this one had been there for maybe a day. So that's good. No smell. Working in the warehouse is not great. The pay's good. The company's good, as in the people who are there. But yeah. So that's what I'm doing for the first week and a bit of August. Just constantly trugging on that. Even filming-wise, because I film on weekends, we're in finals time. August to September period is finals for most of sport, mostly football. So we're doing private schools. I film for that. We're doing that on weekends, so I got to be able to manage that as well as doing the warehouse stuff. So I'm probably potentially going to go from filming a game at a school to driving to work like 5 minutes away to then load everything onto a truck to be moved to a completely different warehouse 2 suburbs over. Woof. Luckily, I'm not the truck person. I don't have a forklift license. I will just be putting it onto a pallet, wrapping it up, and someone else deals with it after that. Which is great, you know, but it also means that I'm going to be doing all the sweeping, doing all the cleaning, getting rid of all the extra stuff, helping to pull down shelves, all the stuff that the sort of forklift drivers can do the forklift stuff. So yeah, wonderful. So I've still got, finals for filming. That's great. Again, VFL finals will be coming in and stuff like that. Busy period. August as well, MIF, Melbourne International Film Festival, as someone who lives in Melbourne. I don't usually partake in it. I don't usually care much for film festivals. I don't have time. I don't have time during the week to just leave work and go watch movies. And weekends, again, I film, so, MIF is always on during peak filming season, so I never have time for it. I had one weekend, last year, where we had a Godzilla marathon at the Astor, and I'm like, I can do that, but I have to work in the morning. So I work in the morning, go home, get everything prepped, drive to the Astor, and then stay there overnight, watch a bunch of movies, and then leave the next morning and hope that I don't have work the next day, but usually it's rostered ahead of time, so I'll know. So there's Myth. I know I am going to a couple sessions, so if you see me, if you go, feel free to say g'day. Most of the time I'm going to be there with Cinemaniacs people or with friends. My mate Guy really wants to see a bunch of films, and him and I both do the filming stuff on weekends, so we're having to cancel a couple games so we can go see movies like The Toxic Avenger and whatnot. There's a bunch of documentaries that I have friends who are going to be in, like Alexander Helen Nicholas is going to be in 2 different documentaries, which I'm fucking eager as shit to see them, Chain Reactions and 1,000 Women in Horror, so I know I'm going to sessions for those, which I'm very excited for. And that's wonderful. Like, I was talking to her about that the other day, and it's just like, I'm so fucking keen. It's great to have friends who are filmmakers, or just artists in general who get to show their art at a fucking film festival. Isn't that awesome? So that's wonderful, you know? It's so much stuff. But yeah, so that's more sporadic throughout the later end of the month, which is good, because I was fearing that that would get in the way of, like, Myth would get in the way of doing the warehouse stuff, but the warehouse is the very, very start of August, so I don't have to worry, even though I'll probably be tired as shit when I finally see Chain Reactions, because it'll be like the Tuesday after the big weekend thing, and it'll just be exhausting. So hopefully I get enough sleep, and I don't know, figure other stuff out, so hence why I'm going to just try to utilize as much time that I'm not at work to just relax, you know, to be home, to watch movies, to just chill the fuck out, and hopefully not crash, because it's tiring, as well as I've had all the stress of the car. That's been very annoying. All of June, I was basically back and forth between having a car, all of July, between having a car and not having a car. At the end of June, the car fucked up, I broke down just before getting to a freeway, which is good, because at least I wasn't on the freeway, so I was able to get towed, but it was in the middle of the city, so it took a while. And that became a get it to the mechanic. Mechanic says it's good. A couple of days later, there's definitely still some issues. Bring it a week later, because that was the earliest availability at a dealership, which was an hour drive away, because every other dealership close by was just not. 3 weeks later, I would have had to wait. Take it to the dealership. They have it for 3 days. I get it back the Friday. I'm driving to Essendon on the Saturday. On the way back, it's just, it breaks down again on a freeway going 100 kilometers an hour. Luckily, it's almost midnight, so there's not a lot of cars around, but still fucking terrifying. Especially because once you break down, you're like, shit, I have to get into the emergency lane. You get into the emergency lane, the car just will not start, and you're just like, shit, am I going to get towed on the freeway just before it becomes the tollway, or do I try to turn it on again and get onto a main road? And luckily I was able to turn it on again, get across to a main road, and just wait to be towed. And luckily, because it was so late at night, it didn't take very long, and it wasn't a very long drive home. It was actually pretty cheap, which is good. So but yeah, it's just, how many times does this have to happen before I just fucking lose it? So I went to a closer dealership, not even a dealership, this was a actual because I got a Volkswagen. It was the place I went to, which was 5 minutes from home, thank fuck. They were a dealer, they were a specialist in European cars, and they had the car for almost 2 weeks and fixed it. And oh my god, the problems. It was uncanny that it was like, oh, initially we thought it was a wiring issue. Then we realized the wiring issue, which was the problem, was being caused by this other thing that was leaking because it was broken. So one thing that was broken needed to get repaired so the leak would stop, and the leak had leaked onto certain parts that were wires, and the wires need to be replaced. But you either replace it with a whole new harness, which was expensive, and also there's none in the country, so it might take a couple of months, so you might be without a car for a couple of months, or we do it like this, by just doing the individual parts. I don't know how the fuck they did it. And then it's hopefully fine, and it's a lot cheaper. And so that's what they've done, and so far I've driven over 300 kilometers, and it hasn't carked it yet. Like, I've even told my filming boss, like, I only want to drive within a 20 to 30 minute, like, distance from home, because I'm scared that the car's going to break down, and I can't do important games like big VFL games unless they're really close to home, because if my car breaks down, there's no one to film this game, and this shit's important. Like, filming the private school games, easy peasy. If no one films that, that doesn't really matter in the end. But it's important to film this other stuff. So luckily my boss has been very lenient and been able to give me very close to home games. Like, one of them's 5 minutes away, which is fucking terrific. So I've been lucky with that. I've had both my girlfriend drove me to a couple of games, my family have driven me to a couple of games. It's been hell. So I still have a lot of anxiety driving that car. I've had it now for almost 2 weeks, and it's just, like, I've had it actually now for 2 weeks exactly. And I don't have as much anxiety driving it, but it still is there. And I think as time goes on, I will still, like, that anxiety will fade away, but I'm still just scared about the car, because I'm also dealing with a car that's, it's cold as shit outside, the weather's been awful, windy, rainy, frost over everything, my car's parked outside the house most of the time, or outside of work, so it's getting a lot of nature just spewing up on it, so it takes a while for it to warm up in the morning. I got all these car things that, like, I should have always had to deal with that kind of stuff, but my car used to be in a garage, and now it's not, because my mum was like, I want the garage. I'm like, alright, it's your fucking house. So now it gets a lot of more weathering, which means that I gotta sit by the car and let it warm up in the morning, otherwise it gets very sluggish, and that gives me anxiety that it's gonna break down again. And luckily, again, I live very close to where the actual mechanic is, so if it fucks up, I know where to go. But still, not great. It also means that if I have to traverse for long distances, say for like going to the Cinemaniacs or going to just the Astor in general or going to movies, whatever, I have to either go with other people or I have to find different ways to get there, or I just hope that the car will drive. So yeah, but there's no Cinemaniacs in August because of MIF. MIF a lot of it is taking place at the Astor, so I think I'm going to the Astor for one of the sessions that's going to be there, but the rest of it is either at the Kino or at the Lido or at the Cinema Nova or at the IMAX. So there's no Cinemaniacs this month, which is probably fine. Like, I like to see my friends a lot, but at the same time, a lot of us as the Cinemaniacs people are meeting up to go see movies at MIF anyway, so we don't have to stress about putting on a show. We can just enjoy the show that's being put on for us, which is probably a lot fucking nicer. And then we can just hang out afterwards, and yeah. Fucking stress. So, I think that's the general gist. Moving warehouses, filming weekends, finals. Car was fucked, but is so far okay. I'm going to Japan. We bought our tickets. We're going in October. So a lot of my money now is just going into that, which is great. Also just taxes, I guess. I forget that because I have an ABN, I got to deal with that stuff for taxes, so that's not anxiety inducing at all. Money's great, love having it, 10 out of 10 would do again. Yeah, so I'm not buying as many Blu-rays now, or at least I'm really trying to not. There are so many sets I still want to buy that are huge fucking gargantuan sets. Like, I did have a splurge at JV the other day because they had to buy two get one free and a 20% off. I was like, well, I'm already getting an imprint set, I might as well buy some other stuff. Because sometimes some retail therapy helps, because all these issues that I've been dealing with has just been fucking with my mental health. So I've just been like, I'm very temperamental when it comes to my just emotional state, so I can be very depressed one day and perfectly normal the next day. So, and then back to depressed again the day after. So that's always fun. Like, I know I've got a very occasionally dry sense of humor and stuff, or make jokes about probably suicidal tendencies and whatever. And the good thing is for me is that it's always a joke, because not at other people's expense, it's at my expense. It's always a joke to me because I just know that I'm not going to do that. I've been a teenager before. I know what cemented my ideations of just not doing that, mostly because I already had friends who fucking did that, and that's just not great. Also, I've got a lot of movies to watch, so like I got to prioritize. This helps. This helps my mental health by watching movies. So it gives me the incentive to be like, yeah, fuck it, give it another day. I can watch more movies. This isn't a scream for help at all, man. Someone needs therapy. So, yeah. But at least I'll be able to use this month after all the move and all the extra intense labor and bullshit. I don't give a fuck how much I'm going to get paid for it. I'm going to get so much fucking overtime. Oh my god. But all that money is going into Japan because I'm treating myself for my birthday. Me and my partner are going there for a week and a half. And it's going to be just hopefully nice. It's going to be stuff that I've never experienced too, because we've both been to Japan in like the May-June period of the year, just before it got hot, but also still, whatever. But we're going October, and October is spooky month, and spooky month is my favorite month. Not just because of my birthday, because I love horror, and they have theme parks that have horror-related things, and it's like, holy shit, and they got so much Godzilla stuff, and I know I've been there before, but holy fuck, I want to go back again. I'm so excited for it. So, yeah, that's just what I'm thinking of doing. I'm potentially going to upgrade this camera as well. Just waiting money-wise to see how I'm going, to see if I should buy a new one. I want to before the trip anyway, to have just better resolution, not to shoot in 4K, but just to have a crisper-looking camera. I know I have the one that my partner gave me, but I don't like shooting with that for long-term. Like, it's not got the camcorder quality of consistent recording. Also, the videos on this can just look very soft. I don't know if that's because of the video itself or because of how it gets processed through Premiere Pro. Even though I'm rendering it in fucking 1080p HD anyway for like the best possible quality that I can get out of it. I guess. I mean, it doesn't concern me as much because these are just me standing in front of a shelf talking about things and having posters that always look much more crisp and HD than my fucking video does. But at the same time, if I'm going somewhere and I'm shooting stuff and I have on-location shots, I want that stuff to look good. Like, I'm doing interviews, I want it to look good. I'm doing videos where I go to, like, again, like, play music, I want it to look good. So, this camera is, like, 10 years old. I've been using it for the past, 9 to 10 years now. So, I need to get a new one. Like, it's a standard camcorder. What is it? Is it even Panasonic? I can never remember what label it is. It is the Panasonic Full HD HC-V770M. Yeah, it's very old. The current version of the model that it exists that I could buy if I want to get the exact same camera is still there. It's a slight bit better, but it also removes a couple features. Like, this one has a shoe thing where you can put in an external microphone, whereas the camera that's the replacement, like the equivalent of this now, doesn't have that. They've removed some features, and I don't like that. So I want to get the more expensive one, which can shoot in 4K, because it has better microphone stuff, even though I don't use that extra microphone stuff. But if I go outside, I'd like to. So, yeah. So, I can't say expect a lot from me for videos. As it is, I've been very sparse in July anyway, because I've been so in and out of just not wanting to make videos anymore. Which we always know that I love standing in front of a camera and talking. It's just a thing. I've been doing it for 10 years now. I enjoy doing it. But, the creativity that goes into it, which doesn't seem like a thing of like, these aren't creative, you're just standing talking about bullshit. Yeah, but I need to come up with ideas. If I don't have the ideas, if I don't have the passion for it, then I just don't care, and then I'll have videos sitting there for months on end that I just don't care about, and I never get around to doing them. Like, never get around to editing and releasing. It's easy content, easy views, but I just don't care, And I don't go to the basic routes of trying to make as much clickbaity stuff. I don't do a lot of Blu-ray reviews as much as I'd love to, because they're not always great for views, even though I love doing them. Even interviews, it takes a lot of time and effort to do them, and they don't do well view-wise. If I look at any of my videos, the interviews do the worst, and I also just don't care, because those ones I really like, because it's not about me, it's about the person I'm talking with. And it's just really fun to do. It's nice to have it. I've still got 2 or 3 different people I want to interview now. So at least I have the idea in mind of who I want to interview next, because between interviewing John last year and interviewing Emma and Nat this year, I had no inclination to do it. But yeah, so I did, two birds, one stone. It was within the same week, asked Emma and Nat, and then in the same month filmed my interviews of both of them, and it was great. And I learned a lot technology-wise from doing those. So like how this camera does not like when there's a lot of background lighting. Isn't that wonderful? I found out that too, because I'd filmed footage in Tassie, which I still haven't edited any of my footage from my trip to Tassie back in January, where I was filming some footage, and I've looked at that footage and been like, oh, it's gone out of focus because there's like the light is bouncing off of the wall, and now it's fucking up with the camera. And it was only some inside stuff, but it wasn't to do with the trip, it was just for myself. So it's just things to keep in mind, that this camera doesn't like that sometimes. Even like when I did the video at Play Music DVD, my partner was filming it, and it sometimes went out of focus for some shots, so I had to deal with that. In the edit, I just was like, I'll just chop around that stuff, it doesn't matter. So, yeah. Anyway, that's all. Hope you guys are well. I'm just tired. And I think that's it. Yeah. Yeah. So hopefully if I get into editing again, like if I'm not filming, but I still want to edit, if I'm bored and I want to edit because I don't want to watch another movie or whatever, I'm going to try to work on that Tassie vlog, because there's so much fucking footage. There's a whole week's worth of footage. There's about 3 hours to edit. Most of it's of animals, and I don't know how much you guys care about animals, but obviously the footage is for me to edit, for me to watch and whatever, for other people who I know who would want to see that to watch, even though it's been almost 8 months since I went there. Oh my god. It's been a long fucking year. So, yeah, anyway, I've got other stuff to do. Got more movies to watch. And that's all. Thanks for watching. Again, if I might maybe talk about the films I watched at MIF, I'll try to do that. There's no reason why I can't, do a film review for like Toxic Avenger or whatever other film again, like Chain Reactions, 1,000 Women in Horror. Mostly those two, because I want to just also promote those as like, hey, you should watch these, because whatever. Mostly because I know the people who worked on it, but also because I might actually really like it. Who knows? Like, I like Texas Chainsaw, and I like women. And horror. So, yeah. But that's it. Yeah. So if I don't make too many videos this month, I don't know, don't be scared. I'll be back. Maybe. Nobody knows. Or do they? I can't quote that Spider-Man 2 thing for the life of me, so I'm just going to go. Adios.